love to travel. Love it. But in particular, I love being in the wilderness. For me, being in the wilderness it recharges me, just like Renee was talking about. It recharges me and it inspires me. And recently, back in October, I took a trip to Patagonia, the Chilean region, with 2 of my girlfriends. And I thought that I would share that adventure with you today and hopefully inspire you maybe to go to Patagonia or at least go out into the wilderness to recharge yourself. The trip was full of adventures. I mean, it starts with getting there. And in the middle, it's full of just awe-inspiring views that make you say, oh my Patagonia. And our trip ended with unplanned adventure to an island of penguins, which really inspired me about love. I'll tell you more. Now, I'm a big believer every time I do a trip like this. So some of you, if you do these sorts of adventures, you know it requires a lot of planning. It's a journey just to get there. Okay? And I always remind myself that part of the experience starts with just getting to SFO. Okay? The memories begin there. It's a journey, not the destination, that matters. I am a big believer in travel agility, meaning I travel light. That was my pack for the week. And I'm a big believer that you must have beer before any flight. So it's just a rule. This is the 3 of us meeting up at the airport getting ready to board our leg to Santiago. Now, if you're not familiar, Patagonia is the region way down here. And we decided to go to the Chilean side, but it does span Argentina and Chile. And it's actually not so quite simple as I've shown here, that purple line. Getting there, it's more like 3 flights, 2 buses, and a couple of taxis, and I didn't even include the walking and trying to figure out where you're going. Now, lucky for us, everything went fairly as planned, fairly well. We got to Punta Arenas, which is a really small town and a tiny airport. We got there at 8:30 p.m., and we must have saw a handful of people. And that made us a little nervous because we had booked a bus to take us from here to here, which was 3 hours, and the bus tickets directions are in Spanish. My Spanish is más o menos. I had a feeling we were in the right place. And finally, this guy comes up to us, and in Spanish, he asks us, are you waiting for the bus? CC, yes, I am. Immediately, he decides that his English is better than my Spanish. And he says, I'm the bus driver. Well, amazing. Let's go. For some reason, he walks over and he gets on the phone and we can see him. And we're like, okay, dude, what's going on? About 30 minutes later, okay, we've been traveling, by the way, at this point for 25 hours. We're not sure if we're in the right place. We're thinking we're going to stay at the airport at this point. And he comes back and I'm like, listos, we're ready. And he goes outside and he's looking for the bus. And he's like, I don't see the bus. What are you talking about? I'm thinking, you're the driver, can we go? Ultimately, I think he finally figured out that neither one of us could communicate with each other. And he finally said, somehow figured out that the bus was coming. It came, it was wonderful. It was actually a much nicer bus than I expected. And we had a couple more bumps, but we got to where we were going. But again, that story is just part of this experience, and my girlfriends and I laugh about it all the time. Now, where were we going? We were going to do what's called the W Trek, and it's called the W Trek because it's shaped like a W. We're doing the red portion of this hike. And a lot of planning goes into this type of vacation because you have to plan how many miles you're going to hike for the day, where you're going to stay. And we stayed in these, they're called refugios, which is like a hostel. Now, I had very low expectations. I thought we were going to sleep on a cot. The food was going to be blah. Boy, were we in for a surprise. There was a barista Yeah, a barista. There was beer, lots of beer, and there was Wi-Fi. I don't think I wanted the Wi-Fi, but there was Wi-Fi. And look at the view. I mean, this is yuppie heaven in the middle of Patagonia. I was just so surprised. Now, this is us admiring our view and getting ready for our trek the next day. Where were we going? We were going here, right there to those peaks. That's called Torres del Paine. That is the first peak of this journey. And it's recommended that you get there at sunrise at 6:15 a.m. So that means you've got to leave in the middle of the night. But the weather is much like San Francisco. They have their own Carl the Fog. So you hike for 4 hours, you get up there, you might not see anything. And in fact, these ladies attempted it the day before we did. They didn't see a thing. Imagine 48 hours of traveling to get here, and then you get up there and you see nothing. We had so much anxiety the night before, but 2 a.m., this was us. 6 a.m. I mean, that's pretty awesome, right? 6 a.m. This is what we saw. Now, what you can't tell is it's freezing. It's super windy, and it's snowing a little bit. But I will tell you, we sat there for 15 minutes, and this is what we saw. Oh my Patagonia. I mean, I get this feeling here that just makes me feel alive. You know, that's the refreshing part of it. And the awe-inspiring moments, they continued. The glaciers, the reflection on the water, I mean, they just continued. And by the way, don't put your feet in the water. I lasted 20 seconds. And then, after the W track, the city was closed down, basically. There was some holiday, and they had just basically shut down. We found this excursion that actually happened to go through the Magellan Strait, which I didn't know at the time is actually a very dangerous channel to travel through. It's between the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, and very unpredictable. And they told us that as we're getting into this yellow boat. We went anyway, and we got to see penguins. And did you guys know that penguins love hard? They love hard. They find a partner. You see this cute couple? They've been together forever. I mean, I'm like, oh, there's my husband. That's me. How cute. It just inspired me. Nature just inspires me. And I hope that I've inspired you to get out there into nature, to wander the wilderness, and refresh yourself. If you want to know more about Patagonia, I'm happy to give you all the details. Thank you.